bookends. Welcome to a 10-minute book review. I'm 10. Today's book review is going to be on Idiot by Laura Clery. Or is it Clery? I think it's Clery. Could be Clery. So if you don't know her, you probably do know her, you just might not know her full name. She is a influencer. I don't really see her as an influencer because she's fun. And she's not kind of in your face, like, buy this. She's not that kind of a person. But a lot of her videos show on Facebook and on YouTube. If I can, well, not YouTube, maybe YouTube. If I can find any on YouTube, I'll put them in the description. I'll link some funny ones in the description. But I was introduced to her via Facebook just by seeing different videos. So this book isn't really her life story because she's still young, around my age, maybe a little tiny bit older, but around my age, maybe a tiny bit younger, but I think she's around my age. So it's just some snippets of stories from her life, basically saying how she got to where she is now and what she did beforehand. We like to start off every book review with a star point, as in out of 10 stars, how many stars this book garner. And we also like to give a rating, as in if this book was a movie, what would it be rated? So, star point, this is 7 out of 10 stars. It was good. My phone decided that life was no longer necessary for it anymore and went to jump off the table it was on. So, rip my phone. Anyway, so yes, it was a good story. Well, good book. Not really a story, right? Because it's her life, so it's not made up. I always find it hard to rate biographies or autobiographies since it is someone's actual life, but just by writing style and how it was presented, because we listened to it as an audiobook, she was reading it. It was highly entertaining the way she read it, so it was a 7. There were some detractors, but we'll go into that later. For a rating, this is a hard one. Most of the stuff that she talks about is rated PG, PG-13. Even when she goes into drug use, it's not so explicit that I think it would scare a child or throw a kid into a loop or anything like that. It's not so explicit. But there is language used throughout. So if this was to be made into, I don't really see this as a movie. I could see this as a show. Either her time in LA or her time in Downer, which is the town she's from. So if this was a show, it could be on HBO, but I think it would live a better life on a channel like Freeform. So if it was on Freeform, then obviously the language wouldn't be as strong. So I'm guessing a TV PG-13, if that's a thing. So jumping right on in, she starts off the book with her as a adolescent teenager in the suburban town of Downer. Her parents are in love. They live in a suburban town. They don't really make a lot of money. Her dad's an alcoholic, and so that makes him sometimes angry, but he's, you know, still a relatively cool person. Wouldn't call him abusive or anything like that, just an angry drunk. And she was very tall. Now, when you watch her videos on YouTube, she doesn't appear to be that tall. Thin, you know, not like sick thin, not like rail thin, but, you know, thin, maybe athletically thin or genetically thin. But she doesn't seem extremely tall, but she's like 6 something, I believe. So yeah, and she said she's started sprouting when she was younger. She got so tall she couldn't sleep in her bed comfortably, so she started sleeping on the couch. One thing I thought was cute was that she said about she would watch infomercials because, of course, you're a kid, you're not gonna go to bed when you're supposed to be in bed. What? Why? So she'd stay up watching infomercials. And she would write these infomercials down, like information about it, numbers, and then remember the numbers, and then tell her mom the next day, like, hey, we need to get a this or that, and a this EV, and a, you know. And her mom was like, she would listen patiently, but be like, you know, we're not going to do that. This is just going to make you sick, or you're never going to use this, or we're never going to use that. So I thought that was kind of cute and kind of funny, kind of relatable, because I remember being younger thinking we needed an Egg-O-Matic or whatever the thing was that boils eggs for you without turning on the stove or anything. Or that ramen cooker thing where you just put water in it and put it in the microwave and it's supposed to make the best ramen ever. Like, Mom, we need this. And Mom's like, we have a stove and we have water and we have a pot. So we don't need it, per se. We didn't get the ramen thing. So as she gets older, she meets a girl and they become best friends. Now, they're kind of misfits together. They're not like horrible misfits. Like, they're not like committing horrible crimes, shoplifting, but not committing horrible crimes. Her friend starts to mature quicker than she does. And so her friend's like, okay, being an idiot's been cool and all. Like, it's been good. But I'm trying to get that GPA up. And I'm trying to be valedictorian. And so I can't hang out with a hooligan. Sorry. But she did it in a nice enough way. They still remained friends to an extent. They just weren't publicly so. One of the sadder parts of the book was when Laura was part of this group of other girls, popular girls. And they decided to play a prank on one of the girls' boyfriends. And they left a bra outside of his house. And they kept calling him, to get him to go outside. He wouldn't answer. Later on, they found out that he had committed suicide in his basement the same day that they had left the bra on his porch. Now, it had nothing to do with the bra. Like, he wasn't killing himself because his girlfriend and her friends left a bra on his porch. There was more going on. And she said that that helped her and her friends to become a little more empathetic towards other kids, because he was such a happy and popular kid. They had no idea that anything was going on with him, that anything was wrong with him. So they didn't know to ask. Which, in all honesty, most kids don't know what's going on with other kids. Kids don't know how to diagnose other kids because they don't know how to diagnose themselves. As time goes on, she decides that she wants to be an actress, and she decides she wants to move away to do so. Her parents are like these 100% I'm behind you all the way type parents. So she wants to be an actress. They're like, go for it, honey. You can do it. So she moves to LA with a friend of hers, and she gets on cocaine. Now, she says she starts doing cocaine, but I don't know if she was doing it while she was in Downer as well, or she started it in LA. Something that was really cool about her life was that she auditioned to be in the X-Men movie as Kitty Pryde. She didn't get the part, of course, but she auditioned, so that was interesting. She was going to be a model, and that kind of fell through a little bit too. And she also mentioned about how the things that she had did to shoplift and do minor stealing where she was from didn't work well in LA. There was one point where she said she had some scarring on her stomach from a bad bikini wax that she had tried to do at home. And she went to CVS. Was it CVS or Walgreens? I know it wasn't Rite Aid, but it's like she went to CVS or Walgreens. And she saw some cream, some scar cream. Now, she said she could have bought the scar cream that was $5. Then they had another version of it, which was $40. And she's like, I deserve this $40 skin cream. So she decided to slip it in her bag. I guess where she was from, they either didn't have security cameras or security wasn't hawking like they do like in places like LA. But when she was about to walk out of the store, the manager walked over to her and was like, listen, one of my people saw you put something in your bag. What is it? Let me see it now. She doesn't even put up a fight. She opens up her bag, shows him the skin cream, hands it over, says I'm sorry. And he decides to make a spectacle of her and tells everybody, like, hey, look at this girl. What's your name? She tells him her name. Laura decided that she was going to steal some skin cream. And what pissed me off about this story was, of course, she should not have been stealing. So I'm not advocating for stealing. She should not have stole. But she immediately gave him the skin cream. She told him why she was stealing it. She said she had some scarring in the feminine area that she didn't really want to share with anyone, and she was sorry. He told her to leave after he embarrassed her. He told her to get out. When she leaves out, the police are outside and they arrest her. So it's like, dude, which one is it? Because technically she didn't steal anything because she didn't leave the store. Should she have had it in her purse? No. But did she leave the store? Also no. So technically she didn't steal anything. So it's like, which one do you want? Like, do you want her to go to jail for shoplifting? Or do you want her to leave and never come back? So yeah, she ends up getting arrested. She said that was hyper embarrassing, which I can imagine it would be. And at the time she was only 17, which I think is interesting. Like, I can't imagine my parents letting me move clear cross country. I think she's from Ohio or something to that effect. No, Chicago. I think it's Chicago. Or Illinois. I think it's Illinois. But she's from like a small town. So I couldn't imagine my parents allowing me to move clear cross country at the age of 17. Not even legal. And I'm not even from a small town. I'm from a big town. So it's like moving from one big town to another big town. You know, they wouldn't have allowed that at 17. But her parents, I don't want to say that they were trusting. I think they were trusting that the universe would work itself out and that she'd figure her life out on her own. Laura is very candid about her addictions. She doesn't talk about her addictions in a way that bring you down, like that throw you down the rabbit hole. Like, it's not like a Go Ask Alice type of deal. She's very candid about her addictions. She's very open about her addictions. And she's also very open about her rehab process. So one thing she talked about with addiction was that alcoholics have two mindsets. Either this grandiose, I deserve everything in the world, I deserve the best, and if I can't have it, there's something wrong with other people, not me. Or the other side of the coin, where it's like, I'm the worst thing to ever happen to life itself, and I don't even deserve the air I breathe. So it's those two, and she said that she usually fell on the grandiose side of things, like, I deserve this. Once she started going into rehab, she started figuring out she's not that much better than anyone or that much worse than anyone. I can honestly see how that could happen, though. If you grow up in like a poor family around richer people and you see everybody else is in like the cool clothes and stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, why don't I have these things? I'm a good person. Don't I deserve it? Why don't I deserve it? If I just take it, then that means I got it. And if no one caught me taking it, that means I deserve it. So I get where her reasoning came from. It's good to be self-aware, and she called herself out on it. One of the cutest stories in her book was how she met her husband. She also did like a little skit on Facebook about that particular chapter as well. If I can find it, I'll try to link it here too. But yeah, it was so cute. So she was at a party, a themed party, and she came dressed up like her mother because they said the theme of the party in LA was to dress like your parents would have dressed the year you were born. And I believe she was born in 86, 85, 80 something. So she came dressed up like her mom. And she was sober, of course, because this is after she had gone through therapy, was still going through rehab and everything. And so she saw this guy that she thought was really cute, and she saw he was holding a bottle of water. And so she walks up to him like, hey, where'd you get your water? And I love water, and, you know, just rambling and stuff. He's like, you don't love that water. She's like, what? Like, yeah, if you loved water so much, you would have brought the water with you, like I brought water with me. And she's like, jerk. So she ends up finding a bottle of water because it's California and it's hot. So of course they're going to have water somewhere in a bottle at a party. Everyone else is high or drunk, and she's like, I'm tired of being the only person sober at this party. This sucks. So she says her goodbyes to people, you know, people who can remember who she is because drunk and high. And then she goes to find the guy with the water bottle, and she's like, you know, I'm leaving. He's like, why are you leaving? And she's like, well, I'm the only person sober at this party, so it sucks. He's like, you're not the only person sober at this party. And he holds up his bottle of water. And so she asks him a question like, are you sober like because you don't want to drink sober, or sober like if you take one drink the whole world will come crashing down around you sober? and he was the whole world crashing down around you sober. So he had an addiction too that he was fighting, and he was intrigued by the fact that she was fighting it too, and so well. Because usually when it comes to addicts, I don't know how to do stuff in California, but in Jersey, like over here, if you're an addict, they'd be like, stay away from other addicts. Like, don't go to parties if you know they're gonna be doing A, B, C, D, because you'll probably end up doing A, B, C, D. I guess in California, they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead, chill. They're popping pills, you pop a Tic Tac. They're drinking liquor, you drink a bottle of water, but you go and enjoy yourself. Yeah, don't do that over here. Anyway, long story short, they end up getting to know each other, and this whole thing about him being married and not married, and yeah, that was odd. So anyway, it's a good book. It's a good book, and she has a lot of levity when it comes to her life, even though I think if I was reading this book, I think it might have been more of a downer than actually listening to her talk about it. You know, sometimes when you hear someone talk about something they've been through, it doesn't feel as bad as reading about something they've been through, because they're able to put life into it and kind of say, yeah, that part of my life sucked, but if I didn't go through that part of my life, I wouldn't have gone to this part of my life. So it's okay, it's cool. I really advise listening to the audiobook, not because the written version is in some way bad, it's not, that I'm aware of. I didn't actually read the written version of it, but just hearing her narrate her own life is worth the listen. And also it would be great as a, like I said, as a TV show, because she's still alive, and because, you know, thankfully she's still alive, and she is still relatively young. It doesn't feel completed. The book doesn't feel completed, but I think that's a good thing, because her life isn't done. She isn't done getting to where it is she would like to be. She'd like to be an actress. Now, though she is big on Facebook and probably on YouTube, she's not where she wants to be. So her life is not where she wants it to be just yet. So the book ends kind of with an unfinished, kind of a thank you for reading and hope to see you later kind of a thing. Almost like a friend. Almost like a friend telling you about their life, and they're like, okay, well, I'm about to go home now. I'll talk to you later. Kind of a, like that. Like, I'll talk to you later kind of a situation. And, I mean, this doesn't really affect anything, but her baby is so cute. Alfie is adorable. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Yeah, so once again, this has been a review for Idiot by Laura Clery. It garnered 7 out of 10 stars due to language, really. Language, and sometimes the book sounds a little disjointed. Not that it's not written beautifully or read beautifully, but sometimes I feel like the stories kind of skip around, and so I lose track of how old she is when something's happening, or the scene around when this is happening, so sometimes you lose track. So yes, 7 out of 10 stars. Still a wonderful book. And as a rating, I would say probably a TV PG-13. I would love to see something like this on Freeform. I'd rather see the part about her being in LA than see the part about her being a child in Downer. But either way, it's still good. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Bye, bookends.